My people, my Biafran people, now how on a day. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazanambe Kano. May God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency ESN EKPA Simon and Joko, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you, because we know in your hands Biafra is coming, in your hands Biafra is safe, and in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people, the children, the men, the women, the young and the old, the sick, the poor, the civilized and the uncivilized, the meek and the gentle, those born around Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra, we shall rejoice, we shall scream for Hallelujah Day, because our freedom has come. Biafra is the only solution for the Biafran people. We don't believe no more in regionalism. We don't believe in the contraction they call Nigeria. All we want is Biafra. And from the 2nd of December, the mantra will be, give what belongs to Nigeria, and to Biafra. When the collation of the voting is done and the announcement is done on the 2nd of December, my PM and his cabinet, I am sure, will forward the outcome to the Zoo Republic government in Nigeria. And it's up to them to do what they will with it. But to fulfill all righteousness, we shall send them the outcome, so that the world can bear us witness. Because what you see in this video is something that is about to take over that contraption called Nigeria. At this moment, my people, first of all, I need you all to know that the media from Eritrea, Gallup Media, they did a wonderful job. And they've just done also a bridged or an abridged version of their interview between our Prime Minister, the U.S. lobbyist, ELIAS GERASOULIS, and also the Republic of Eritrea, government in exile, that are also fighting for their freedom. But before I show you what they did, we need to discuss what you are seeing here in this video. These are headsmen, they are speaking their language, we don't know what they're saying. But me doing a forensic analysis on this video, what I have seen is that you can see they are all putting on Nigerian military uniform. People like this, when you see them in your checkpoint, you will stop, because you will assume they are the military police or they are the military by the checkpoint. And all across Biafra land, we have the full killer headsmen dressed in Nigerian military uniform. So when I'm telling somebody like Rufai Oseni, when he keeps on saying he loves the Nigerian military, he loves the police, I keep on wondering what he's talking about. Hold it there. This man you are seeing right now, he's wearing the vest of the Nigerian police. What you are seeing here is a full killer headsman, a Boko Haramist, an ISWAP member, or whatever you want to call them, ISIS, whatever you want to call them, they fall under the same umbrella. He's wearing a military uniform, and also he has a vest of the Nigerian police. You can tell from the snapshots there, he's putting on a vest of the Nigerian police with an inscription on it saying police. Now, I put it to Rufai Oseni that he needs to do an investigative journalism before he starts to proclaim that he loves the Nigerian police and the Nigerian army. Because people like this, they are at the checkpoint. I put it to Rufai Oseni, if he's driving his car and there's a checkpoint, he sees men like this, he will assume they are the Nigerian police. He will stop. and the rest will be history. This is why we are saying we don't want any police checkpoint in Biafra land. This is why the Biafra Republic government in exile, headed by our Prime Minister, His Excellency, Mazi EKPA Simon Njoku, has been proclaiming that we don't need any police checkpoint in Biafra land. Because things like this are the problem. You will see them, you will assume they are policemen, they are army, waiting by the checkpoint, carrying out the activities, they are so-called routine and tour, not knowing that these are criminals. These are terrorists. These are men that were brought into that zoo republic called Nigeria, all because of politics. Way back since 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, the rest has been history. They brought them in for politics, and today they have remained. They have refused to leave because the zoo government, they have not paid their own part of the bargain to this man. My fellow Biafrans, the die is cast. So when we say we support our Prime Minister, when he said we don't need to see any police checkpoint at all in Biafra land, you guys don't get it. When criminal like this, you see the videos of them being pied on the streets, you come out and you say you love your military, God bless your military. You condemn Simon Ekpa, you condemn the Biafra Republic government in exile, you blame it on ESN, but when you look deeper, when you carry out an in-depth analysis, you would see that those on the streets are men like this, sent by the Caliphate to take over the land of Biafra. When you go to the Yoruba land, it's already gone. Or your state is gone. Ogun State, they are already there. They are covered. They are littered all across the Yoruba land. And we, the Biafrans, were saying, we shall not tolerate this in our land. They are gyrating. They are flowing. Nobody is stopping them. No police on site, no military on site, because they are there to carry out a task. They even have the audacity to video themselves. Oh my God. Let us hear what they are saying. Let's hear what they are saying. Listen.
Ina bada magana wasu suna bada magana wasu na cewa ga ai haka nan ka tambaye shi an yi ko ba ai ba ka tambaye ya Najeriya duk da aka yi kaka ko tura sai a tura ya Najeriya ai kuma sama ka talla ya gusa ma
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Look at them showing off. Look at them gyrating. Look at them on a very high moral high. They are gyrating because they know they are in total control of the situation. They are in total control of the environment that they are in. They are even blogging and vlogging. They are making videos, putting videos online. These guys, they are savvy with a cell phone. They've got internet, broadband and data. They've got everything. They are showing the whole world what they are doing. Yet some idiots out there in the zoo, they are attacking our Prime Minister for trying to protect we the Biafrans. The land of Biafra is the land of God. We are Christians. We refuse to be Islamized in Biafra land. Yes, we have other forms of spirituality and religion, but we are not Islam, and we refuse to be Islamized in Biafra land. So we are saying we shall not tolerate this nonsense. Britain is responsible for this nonsense. Britain, you are responsible. You are responsible for this. So we are calling on Britain to come in and clear off their mess. Because from the 2nd of December, nobody should come in and start pretending like they don't know what is happening. They shouldn't now step in and say they don't understand what is going on. Now you can see for yourselves. They've taken over Nigeria. People like this, they take taxation from the north already. Men like this, they have placed the so-called Nigerian citizens in IDP camp, internal displaced camp, for so many years now. People like this, they are renaming cities, streets, avenues in the so-called contraption called Nigeria. Last time I checked, to be able to change a street name, a city, it must go through, legalities and the rest of them. These are the men being brought to the land of Biafra. These are the men that they call the military. These are the men that you say you love. You say you love your military. I have asked you, they said you are the best in Nigeria when it comes to journalism. So why can't you do the basic research? Why can't you carry out one of the elements of journalism that talks about investigative journalism? Investigative journalism. Come down to the land of Biafra and see for yourself what is happening on ground. We've got people like this littered all across the land of Biafra, and they want to subjugate us. They want to take over our land, and we are saying, no, we refuse to bow down to people like this. To call a spade, Rufai, I understand that your father, before he died, he converted to a Christian. According to you, your father was a Muslim, and before he died, he converted to Christian or to Christianity. This makes me to wonder why you have this nonchalant approach, this nonchalant attitude, when we are saying those coming to the land of Biafra to take over our land, they are coming to Islamize us. They are saying Islam will die. They are coming to take over our resources, and they are trying to end our lifestyle, our religion in Biafra land. That seems not to bother you, Mr. Rufai. Is it because you grew up as a Muslim and you converted to a Christian, and your father was a Muslim, a hardcore Islamist, until he was about to pass away, and you asked him to convert, and in his dying bed, he converted to Christianity? Is that why you have this I don't care attitude about the plight of the Biafrans? And to the Yorubas, why is this not worrying you? Why are you not troubled by videos like this? Why are you not troubled about videos like this? That's my question. Why are you still doing politics? You still talk about you support Tinubu and the rest of them. While you are seeing something like this, your country, your so-called country that you love, is being taken over by people like this. Men like this, they take taxations in the north. They are the ones placing people in IDP camp. In Yoruba land, they are littered everywhere, in your forest, in your bushes. They are out there in the field exploiting your resources, not even exploring. They are exploiting your resources. Yet, most of you don't even care about it. Most of you, you've got this I don't care attitude. That a people like this carrying arms coming to your land to take over your land, and you are showing this I don't care attitude. You have refused to support Chief Sunday Igboho. You believe in Jagaban. You believe in politics. Even your Amotekun, they were bad from carrying the real guns out there. But animals like this can front around, wheeled about, AK-47, and it's okay. Nobody is complaining. Only the Biafrans are complaining about this. And you guys think it's okay. To the Yorubas, I understand a percentage of you, a high percentage of you, you are also Muslims now. I understand that. But you need to understand the hardcore Islamist in the Yoruba region, you need to understand you are playing with fire. Because last time I checked, even in the mosque, you Yorubas, you are, in fact, you are not even allowed to lead the Juma. If a Fulani man is there, he will be the one to lead prayers, not you. They see you as fake, as pseudo Islam people. Yet you are behaving this way because your brother is in power. You assume it's all about power, politics, in a contraption created by your slave master. Anyway, I digress. I am here to speak on the affairs of the Biafrans. I am here to speak on the last meeting, collaboration, and broadcast of Biafra, Eritrean government, and also the US lobbyist, Mr. ELIAS GERASOULIS, who's been doing a great job, an outstanding job. He took his time to explain to us what the lobbying is all about. And I am glad that the anchorman did ask some good questions, which he has done more like a review today. So without any much further ado, I want to focus on Biafra. I will leave the dead to bury the dead. I will allow the dumb, the blind, the deaf, those who choose to be stubborn, I will leave them alone to carry out their activities that will lead them to their destruction. If they love to be slaves, so be it. But for me and my people, for me and my Biafran people, from the 2nd of December, we are going home. From the 2nd of December, we are going to the promised land. And without any much further ado, I present to you a special version of the just concluded meeting between the Eritrean government in exile, the Biafran government in exile, and the lobbyist, the American lobbyist, known as Mr. ELIAS GERASOULIS. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a special abridged version. Thank you.
Last Friday, August 23rd, Gelid Media hosted, in a live interview, the Prime Minister of Biafra in exile and the head of the Eritrean Transitional Government in exile, in addition to Mr. Elias from the Moran Global Strategies, a lobbying firm. The interview lasted about 2 hours. For the benefit of viewers like you, we present to you a clip of what Mr. Elias from Moran Global Strategies said about the services they provide on behalf of Biafra and Eritrea. Please follow, comment and share the clip with friends. Thank you all.
Mr. Elias, Vice President of the Moran Strategies Incorporation lobbying firm, can you tell us who you are and what role do you play with the Biafra and the Eritrean government in exile?
Thank you so much. I'm greatly honored to be here with all of you. As noted, I am a lobbyist with Moran Global Strategies, which is a lobbying firm founded by my good friend and colleague, James Moran, who served as a member of Congress representing Virginia for about a quarter of a century. Our firm has a great specialty in representing foreign clientele, whether it be foreign governments, foreign political parties, or corporations, amongst other clients, which include defense companies and a wide variety of causes. Our firm represents both the Biafra Republic government in exile. We also represent the Eritrean government in exile and the transitional president of Eritrea, Gebre Badarai, and these are not only clients, but also good and dear friends as well. And our firm, because we represent both clients, we brought both these Biafran causes and Eritrean causes together because it's always beneficial to see if there's mutual synergy between clients. To give you a layman's perspective, if you will, of what is lobbying at a granular level, which I think will be helpful for your audience. Similar to, I think the best analogy, which I think will make this lobbying, which oftentimes can be overly complicated, in a very simple, practical, and easy to understand way, is similar to how people hire accountants to do their taxes, or people hire lawyers to navigate the legal process. People hire lobbyists to navigate the political process and to influence public policy. Now, theoretically, you don't need a lobbyist. Everyone has the right to petition the government. But you have a much better chance of influencing policy, of having a voice in the room if you have a lobbyist. The same thing is in court. You could technically go into court without a lawyer, but if you go into court without a lawyer and on the opposite side you have a lawyer that's from a top law firm being paid $1,000 an hour, you're probably going to lose the case. The same thing applies here. We have expertise, we have an understanding of how Washington works, and we have relationships. Many of the members of Congress who are still in Congress have served in Congress with my colleague Jim Moran. He knows them. They know him. Many members of Congress know me. Many people in the think tank community know me. So when we make meeting requests on behalf of our clients, or when we try to relay items on behalf of our clients, it's not coming from a stranger. It's coming from a friend, a familiar voice. And look, I want to be clear. When we make requests, it doesn't automatically mean the member of Congress is going to do whatever we request or whatever we want. But we're in a position where we could have direct access, where we could put our clients face to face with the member of Congress, with their staffer, with the think tank official, with the stakeholders, where they could have that direct access, which is very difficult to get if you don't have a lobbyist. I'm just being very frank with you, because these offices are inundated with thousands of requests a day from people, most of whom they don't even know. And so the reaction you're going to have when you have someone that is a known quantity versus someone you never heard of before, it's going to be completely different. And because of our activities, we're already seeing the results. Most recently, for example, the American Enterprise Institute and one of its senior scholars, Dr. Michael Rubin, who I've known personally for many years, published a very influential article talking about the Biafra self-referendum. This has not been ever done before. Biafra, until our engagement, really hasn't been discussed in Washington, D.C. But now, because of our efforts, one of the world's most influential think tanks is publishing about Biafra. With President Badarai, we've had a series of high-level meetings with Congressman Sherman, with Ambassador Nagy. Ambassador Nagy also met with the Biafran Prime Minister, and they published these meetings. They issued tweets, which generated enormous publicity and also have caused us to receive attacks from the Eritrean Minister of Information. So with our activities, we're able to directly influence U.S. policy on behalf of our clients and to get real results, which would be difficult to achieve otherwise. And so, I view us as the spokesperson, if you will, or the spokespeople for these two noble causes here in Washington, D.C. We've made enormous progress, and I think we'll continue to make a significant more progress in the next coming weeks and months. So I just want to give you the 60,000-foot overview of generally what is a lobbyist, what it is that we do, why we're important. And I'm sure your audience can understand, when a congressperson receives a call from someone they served in Congress with for 20 years, it's going to be reacted to differently than a random phone call to their office. So I think this should be an easy message to comprehend. I think it's an important one for your audience to know. And I'm happy to discuss more specifics in the course of our conversation, but I just want to give you and your audience a 60,000-foot overview.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all that, Mr. Elias, Vice President of the Modern Strategies. Going back to Prime Minister, the Honorable Simon Ekpa, can you give us some of the reasons why the Biafran people needed to be independent of the Nigerian government?
Thank you very much, Mr. Haibu, for that question. Biafra was forcefully joined together with Nigeria, other ethnic tribe in Nigeria, other ethnic nationalities. And during this forceful union, which was named the Amalgamation of 1914, the people that made up of the Niger area, which is today Nigeria, were not consulted. And people did not consent to find themselves, into this forceful union. And it may interest you that it is only in Nigeria that we have what is called a dangerous diversity. And in this dangerous diversity from 1914, we have seen Nigeria supervising death of millions upon millions of indigenous people, both those that were massacred and killed by the terrorists that are invading Nigeria from other parts of the world. Unchallenged, the history of the northern Nigeria, which was conquered by a man called Usman Dan Fodio, is what they are struggling all the time to replicate in this modern century. So Biafra found themselves in this forceful union with a very dangerous diversity, diversity of culture, diversity of religion, diversity of language, everything. We are pulled apart from each other. Of course, it is not just about this diversity, but also the killings for a particular targeted purpose. And everybody understands that during the pogrom against the Biafrans in the north in 1945, it resulted to what led to the war, because the leaders of Biafra then decided that we can no longer continue to watch our people getting killed every day in Nigeria. And that led to the declaration of Biafra in 1967. Now, fast forward, after the war of Biafra in Nigeria, the genocide ended, there was something they called RR, which was introduced by the then president military ruler called One. And of course, on that ground and basis, Biafrans lay down their weapons. So going forward, Nigeria today no longer function as a law-governed state, capable of resolving its political problem, socio-political problem, the diversity problem, the ethnic crisis, the invasion of the jihadist movement all over Nigeria. Nigeria have demonstrated that they are incapable of solving these problems. And so we have witnessed the massacre of people within the Nigeria state. We have witnessed the killings of indigenous people, and this killings is spreading very wide up to now to the southern part of Nigeria. And of course, these terrorists are struggling also to invade Biafra land. And they are being backed by the Nigeria state. As we see today, the Nigeria government is being controlled by these extremists. And then of course, the Biafra people are completely different people from different background, different ethnic nationality, different religions, and all that. So we decided that we will not rely on Nigeria protection, otherwise the original plan of a man called Usman Danfodio will come to fruition. Biafra decided that we are going to take this upon ourselves, as the leaders of the Biafra in the 60s have created the awareness and of course try to defend Biafrans that are getting killed all over Nigeria. And of course that particular attempt failed in what we see as a genocide. Nigeria have not been tried in any court for the starvation of Biafrans and the war crime against Biafra people. Today, Nigeria security agents are all infiltrated by Boko Haram and other terrorist groups. And these terrorists are being sent to different parts of Nigeria, either to directly attack and enable the conquest of other ethnic nationalities, or they are going to be there to supervise and share the terrorists while they sack villages and communities. On daily basis, we witness hundreds and hundreds of people getting killed, many kidnapped for ransom, and Nigeria government does nothing about these crimes every day. So the Biafra government, both in the homeland and in exile, has taken up the responsibility for defending Biafra people, providing the security that Nigeria has failed to provide. And of course, in this particular quest for our freedom, we decided to use multidimensional approach because we know the complexity of a fight like this, especially in a globalization where all the political correctness, people who believe in political correctness are in power. You will see where people are getting massacred and you overlook it, or you want to use a soft word to either defend the perpetrators or to ask the victims to calm down and obey law and order. How can you be asking somebody to obey law and order where there is no law and order? If there is no law and order, if there is any law and order in Nigeria where we will be, asked to calm down and wait for law enforcement to take its course, you will not have people killed in the first place. The people who are supposed to enforce the law are the people that are killing. And they have become the terrorists because they have been infiltrated. The commanders, generals in the army are all affiliated to Boko Haram and Islamic jihadist movement. So Nigeria started as a secular state from 1960. It was called a secular state. Secular state in the sense that there is no official religion, there is no official language and all that, only language that ethnically like dialect. And all that, the general language, accepted language and official language become English. Today, as I speak to you, Nigeria from the back door have adopted the Islamic Sharia law without referendum. That secular state has disappeared to the blue moon. In Nigeria today, under our very own eyes, the northern state adopted Sharia law without referendum. Because in that northern state, you have people who are not Muslims, people who migrated from other parts of Nigeria to the northern state, and they are not Muslims. And during the time they were migrating, Nigeria constitution says secular state. And today, they found themselves in an extreme Islamic Sharia state, where their heads are being cut off, where they are stoning them to death at any provocation, where the people who don't even know anything about the religion are being stoned to death. And of course, those that are made open, we'll talk about it. One of the recent one is a lady called Deborah. Deborah is not a Muslim. She's a Christian. She was accused of blasphemy, even when she's not part of their religious movement. She was stoned to death. We are not against Muslims. We are friends of Muslims. We have Muslim friends all over the world. But what we are saying is that let live and let live. If you must have a Sharia in Nigeria, and those people who have agreed to have a Sharia law in their state, they can have their independence. Not necessarily deceiving the people in the sense that they are in Nigeria where you have a secular state, only for them to realize that if they talk anything against their religion, they're going to get killed and stoned to death. And they are still living in that delusional state of a secular state. Today, Nigeria is being recognized by the United Kingdom as one of the Islamic states. That was the exact word that Macron used, that Nigeria, an Islamic state, was one of those countries that were negotiating the ceasefire with Israel and Palestine. And of course, supporting the killing of Israel's, the invasion of Hamas against Israel territory, which recorded killings and abduction of innocent women and children. Now, again, the danger of diversity is this. While Nigeria will go to the UN General Assembly to vote and support the state of Palestine, they kill us with guns just for coming out to protest and say that we are ready to also have an independent state. Biafra has suffered the highest, they have become the highest victim in order to continue to push the message and narrative of one Nigeria. We lost 3 million children, not to burn, not to bomb, but to starvation. And that was the war crime committed, one of the war crimes committed by Nigeria. And of course, they have probably escaped being tried for that crime because of the time the UN and of course the International Criminal Court came in place. Having said that, it is not enough that after these 3 million children died, today we are facing times 1,000 of what led to the war that supervised the death of over 3 million. Is it not reasonable for the entire globe, the entire world, those who participated in forcing Biafrans and killing Biafrans and advising Nigeria on how to do blockade over Biafra? Are they not ashamed of themselves today that the Nigeria they cherished and loved so much has collapsed? Nigeria has no other thing to do other than to kill, to lie, involve in international crime, fraud, internet cyber crime, and what have you. Terrorism is on the high rise. Internet fraud is on the high rise. Everybody in Nigeria, if you are not involved in war crime or the other, you will never survive. So Nigeria breeds criminals. And because some of us who have come this far to know how to build a state and make a society a better one, we have risen up to say we will end this particular subjugation of our people, making sure that we do not excel, making sure that we don't develop ourselves, and the only way that we can come out of this subjugation is to have our independent state of Biafra. And I want to make it very clear that we are not declaring independent state of Biafra. Rather, we are restoring the already declared independence. It was declared in 1967. So we have a history. And today, everyone have seen the nosedive Nigeria, how Nigeria is nosediving. And we are not the only country or the only nation that are following this path. It may also interest you that Lithuania, who is one of the powerful countries today in this part of Europe, was also facing similar thing in the past before they actually declared their independence. So the Lithuania was, the declaration of the Lithuania was actually the restoration of an independent state which they initially proclaimed in a relatively recent past as a then. And Lithuania redeclared the restoration of their independence. And that's exactly one of the paths the Biafrans are following today. We will issue a declaration to restore our lost independence, which was declared in 1967. And then also a similar thing proclamation was made by a nation called Sahawari. I don't know how many of you know this nation called Sahawari. Sahrawi, the Arab Democratic Republic of Sahrawi in Western Sahara. Their proclamation of the 1976 is exact thing that the Biafra, of course, almost the same thing that Biafra are following today. In this region, in this country, their liberation witness, at least, they took over some portion of their territory and Morocco controlled the rest. And those areas where they are controlling, where they are very strong, is called a free zone. So people should understand that if there is no event, there is no history. You have to create the solution that suits your problem. And what we are doing today is the combination of many process, of many procedure, of many pathway to freedom. Because Nigeria is a complex state, especially with vested interests of the world powers. So what we are trying to do is to profile a solution to the, imagining an upsurge of terrorists from Africa. We imagining as a nation will prevent this upsurge of terrorists. And the emergence of Biafra as an independent state will also restore peace and a lasting peace in the Sahel region. This is a fact. With the way this whole thing is going today, there is a need for Biafra to emerge so that the West and those who believe in civilization will have real alliance in Africa. As it stands today, there is no real alliance in Africa. And what I do not believe is when they say the Western influence. There is nothing like that in our own ideology. What we have is civilization influence. And we are embracing civilization, and civilization we will embrace. We continue to follow the path of civilization because that's exactly the pathway to a better society. Nigeria today has opened what they call Center for Eradication of Innovation. Innovation is part of civilization, and they are eradicating it. So we have different ideology, different belief, everything is different, everything is pulled apart. So the only way we can develop ourselves, attain our potentials, is to govern ourselves in the name of self-determination. So this is the reason we are saying that the world must listen to us now. We have solution, especially to all the problems that are emanating from the West Africa, Sahel region, and of course, the issue of the upsurge of terrorists. The emergence of Biafra will first of all cut all the interests that the terrorists have, which made them to start flowing into Nigeria. And you know what that interest is? They are looking for safe haven, where they can tap on the natural resources, make money, sponsor attack in Europe, sponsor attack in America, and the emergence of Biafra will stop that. Thank you very much. There are many things to say, but I know that a lot of people are here who want to say something. Thank you very much. This is the reason.
It's okay. It's okay.
Or die is our logo and our slogan going forward. Thank you very much.
Ina bada magana wasu suna bada magana wasu na cewa ga ai haka nan ka tambaye shi an yi ko ba ai ba ka tambaye ya Najeriya
dubin da aka yi kaka ko tura sai a tura
ya Najeriya
ai kuma sami ka talla ya gusa ma
wallahi sai kun nan
mun kora talaka yanzu ka ga dokar yanzu a gidana nan na tuna koshi kaji kawai ake yi nama kawai ake yi sannan wani shinkafa kawai ake nomanta dawa kawai ake nomanta gero kawai ake noma ne masara kawai ake noma ne to ta ya za a toshe abincin mu
ko ma za mu zama ai Allah
ta ya za a
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Lugard. Blame it on Lord Lugard. And it's why Flora show 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation. Ever since annihilation, nepotism is nonsense. You and you clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Odudua, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.